seminar, and it changed my life. And that's what I want for you today, is to latch onto something really huge that you love. And when you do that, it propels you to a whole other world. And it introduces you to a part of yourself you didn't even know was there. It truly is magical.
You know, as Sandy's talking here, what was running through my mind is where she's gone since she was in that first seminar. And if you make even 25% of the progress that she's made, you're in for a real good ride, I'm telling you. Her life has changed so dramatically in so many different ways. And yet, when she was here for her first seminar, she would be considered by almost anyone as being very successful. So this isn't really about where you're at from a dollars cent point of view, or where you're at in your business. It's where you're at relative to where you can go. If you take a look here, we point out that goal achieving is an art. And you wonder, why is goal achieving art? What we're actually doing, what we're doing when we're going after and achieving goals, we're manipulating energy. All science and all theology have been very clear about one thing. Nothing is created or destroyed. Now think of that. Nothing is either created or destroyed. So what we're really doing is manipulating energy. We're taking energy and we're moving it into another energy, and it probably never would have gone there if it hadn't been for us. Goal creation, I believe, is what we're here for. I think that's why we're here. We're God's highest form of creation. There's nothing on the planet that will equal you or me. Most people, unfortunately, they're stalled somewhere in life, and they stay that way. And there's no need of it. Now, I was fortunate. Someone woke me up when I was 26. And I thought I was fairly old in starting. As I look back, I realized how young I was. Because there's no one that can even guess at what I'm capable of doing. Now, as we go through today, tomorrow, and the next day, 2 or 3 days, let me explain it this way. I was speaking to a group in Las Vegas a couple of days ago. There was about, I don't know, around 5,000 to 6,000 of them. And I pointed out that I'm not a motivation speaker. That's what people buy sometimes, but that's not what I am. I see myself more as a teacher than a speaker. And what we're going to teach you is absolutely incredible information. It's not taught in school. It's not taught in very many homes. And it is the reason so many people in life are stuck. And think about this for a moment. We have people go right through our educational system, and they come out and they've got multiple degrees in many cases, and yet they're stuck. A clear 95% of the population aren't going to happen. And they know they're capable of doing better, but they're not sure why or how. They've got degrees coming right off the end of a business card. And yet they're in debt. They can't even pay their school loan. School loans, I understand, are higher than credit card debt. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous money though. And so people are coming out of universities and they've got all kinds of knowledge, but they really don't know who they are. They don't know how to sit down and chart a straight course to wherever they want to go. When I was first given this book, the man said to me, if you'll do exactly what I tell you, you can have anything you want. Now, I didn't believe that. I had 2 months high school. I had a terrible work record. I had a bad attitude. And everything was going in the wrong direction. I didn't read anything. He asked me if I read it, and I said, no, I can't read. No, I could, not well, but I could. And I've since found out that most people read at about a grade 7 level, and that's because we learn to read by the time we're in grade 7, and we don't improve upon the skill from that point on. But he said, if you do exactly what I tell you. Now, there was a bunch of other information that we shared, but that was the essence of it. He said, do exactly what I tell you. I had never done what I was told. I was the kind of kid that was going in the wrong direction all the time. I spent a number of years in the Canadian Navy, and I'm telling you, I paid all kinds of fines, and I put up with all kinds of punishment because I wouldn't do what I was told. Here he's saying, if you do what I tell you. And then he said then, your way's not working, why don't you try mine? And I don't know why, but I said, okay. Now, it was only in retrospect I realized I did that. And everything in life started to change. And it changed so rapidly, I really couldn't keep up with that. I didn't know what was happening. I went in a matter of a year from earning $4,000 a year to $14,500 a month. I mean, it was just boom, boom. In less than 5 years, I was over $1 million a year. And I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Now, this may sound strange. Sandy had graduated from university as the top banking lawyer in all universities in the United States. She was from one side of the tracks, I was from the other side of the tracks. As she was mentioned, she was a lawyer was merging banks, buying banks, selling banks, turning them public. I mean, she was so far removed from me. But as we talked later on, she had no idea why she was doing so well. She didn't know why. So she was what you call unconscious competent. Here we are from opposite sides of the tracks, but we hit a point where we're doing just about the same things. We're accomplishing the same things. Neither one of us knew why. Now, I was living in England. I had opened an office in England. I was living there, and I was earning all kinds of money. And I knew where the money was. I really didn't care what it was. I was totally irresponsible. And I would go down to the Playboy Club. It was on Park Lane down by the London Hilton. And I'd play roulette. And I didn't care if I lost because I knew where to go and get more money. But one day I thought, this doesn't make sense. This is not being responsible. I don't know, something me. And so I started to wonder, why am I winning? Because the change was so dramatic in my life. And I didn't know why. And I couldn't find anybody who could tell me. Now, I had obviously been doing something very right, but I didn't know what it was. If you had asked Sandy, because I was asking her questions, and she couldn't tell me why she was so successful at what she was doing. And so I made up my mind I was going to figure it out. I was going to find out. And I couldn't find anybody that could tell me why I went from losing to winning. And I mean, really winning. No one could tell me. And so I started studying. It took me 9.5 years. Now, when I got the dots to connect, all I wanted to do was teach other people. When I figured out why I changed, I knew that if I could change the way I did, anyone could. I had to figure out, though, what I did. And I did figure it out. It took me 9.5 years. And as I figured out, I'm going to teach this. Because